Hello, friends. How you doing? Welcome to San Jose.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you all here. Oh, no, please, the general audiences, man. You can't take that off.
They're going to post your feet on Reddit.
He had memorized the instruction manual there. That rocks.
There's an order for the straps.
There's an order.
Sorry, guys,
Otherwise,
I
it explodes.
I had to do it. Yeah. Anyway, go
Like
ahead.
cutting
Sorry.
wires.
Yeah. I didn't plan to take off this boot, so it's really an impromptu.
We're living on the edge today, guys.
Ooh.
Boots off.
Boots off.
It's like gloves off, but lower.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But for your feet.
Okay. Well, I've heard the origin stories before, but I like hearing it from each of y'all. Love for this audience to hear it. How did this series blip on anyone's radar?
How did it get on our radar?
Yeah.
We had heard about it, like that it was kind of coming down the pike, and it was something that could be, had the potential to be popular. I happened to be in the studio recording something else, and so I did an in-person audition for it, but I was asked by the director to audition. And it was one of those things where, you audition as an actor and you kind of, it becomes a job that you do and you let go of it. You do your best and then you kind of let go of it. As soon as I found out, they were like, yeah, this has the potential to be like, I don't know, we're thinking like a Naruto or something popular. I was automatically even more invested. I was like, I want this. So anyway, yeah, that's how I knew about it. And I auditioned for several different characters and came away with my favorite character, Shoto Todoroki. Woo! Thank you.
For me, I had been working as a contract director for Funimation, this company that was once known as Funimation. I had been working as a contract director. I had first been working alongside Colleen as her assistant director on several shows, such as The Rolling Girls and Yona of the Dawn. And then I was directing some of my own shows for a little bit. And then we reached this one season, and they were like, there's no more shows. We only have 6 shows. We'd been simul-dubbing like 12 to like 18 shows in a season or something like that. 12, 16. It was like a lot. And then it was just like, this next season, there's only 6. And it was like, oh, okay. And so they told me, they're like, we don't know if we'll ever have more directing work. And part of the reason for that is my understanding is that they had acquired the rights to the show that was expected to be pretty popular, which was called My Hero Academia. And so when we got to do the auditions, I really, really wanted it because I was like, man, this show is taking away directing from me. Like, I was really enjoying being a voice director. And so I was like, now I really want to get in this show. And I was very fortunate to get into that show because, like I said, in that season there was only 6 shows, so there was very limited work available for people as voice actors, and so it all kind of worked out, fortunately.
I think
and
so.
then time
I'll
changed,
say.
and they brought back more shows, and directing came back in full force, and now they simul-dub like 20-something shows a season.
24?
Yeah.
Something like that?
20.
Yeah.
I don't know, it varies from season to season.
No.
But
That scares me.
that's the biz.
That is the biz. I came to My Hero a bit different since I lived and live in LA. And by the way, thank you for being here and not like on the East Coast, because I get like a full night's sleep here. I really appreciate it. I was on a panel on the East Coast at Anime Weekend Atlanta with Colleen and our friend Jesse James, and it was a great panel. We hit it off, and then afterwards she was like, send me your contact info. And I'm like, oh, cool, maybe, yeah. And then I don't hear from her for like a year. And then out of the blue, there's she sends me sides for Overhaul and Sun Eater, Tamaki. And I had just come back from Dragon Con. And for those who have been to Dragon Con, it's, but for those who have not, it's It's more a party than a con. Nobody really.
It is not a convention like this.
No.
It is a combination of it's a geek Mardi Gras and Burning Man.
Wow.
That is so apt.
I don't think I knew that. That's awesome.
You've never been to Dragon Con?
I've not been to Dragon Con. No. Yeah.
Get ready.
Right?
So, needless to say, nobody slept and I got sick. I came home with some bronchitis, and when the audition comes, you gotta make it work. So I spent like 5 or 6 hours pumping out like 4 lines, and yeah. And she came back and she was like, use the voice you used for Tamaki for Overhaul. And she ended up liking that, so I just made him husky artificially from then on.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I had heard the buzz about my hero when the first round of auditions went out. And then I was living in Houston at the time and doing theater and things like that. And so I would drive up, when I would record at Funimation, I would drive up and do like several hours in one day and then drive back. And I was up there one time recording something else, and Colleen pulled me in. She was like, oh, there's this kind of one-off character. She's really cool. I don't know if she'll come back, and that was serious. And so I recorded for that, and I was like, great, I'm in my hero. This is so exciting. And then a few years later, 2 years later, I was actually working full-time at Funimation as a staff writer, and Colleen sent out a limited audition for Aerie. I think there were only like 5 or 6 of us that she asked to audition. And so this is actually a funny story. So I was super busy, and the morning that the audition was due, I was like, oh crap, I haven't done it. And like, I freaked out. And I'd been like studying, kind of like reading about Aerie and, trying to figure out what my take on her would be. And yeah, then I panicked and I was like, I'm just gonna go into one of the booths and record an iPhone audition, just like press record on my phone, record it and send it off. And so I saw on the calendar that Cliff didn't have anybody in his studio, and I was like, I'm just gonna run in there and ask if I can do it real quick. And so I went in and I was like, hey, can I just like pop into the booth and just record this on my phone? And Cliff was like, why don't we just record it for you? And so Cliff and Manny, the engineer, he's awesome, yes. Yeah, we just like laid it down, a couple lines, and turned it in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was
That's
like, I feel like I
amazing.
have an edge over everybody else because
yeah.
it's like in one of the booths, it's going to sound like it would. And so, yeah, I turned that in. Like, I was the last person to submit. And Colleen came by my office that afternoon and she was like, hey, you got it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I freaked out. And then I had to wait 3 months to record and to like tell anyone about it. And the more that I found out about Aerie, the more excited I got. And yeah, that's my journey in.
That's cool. I've never heard that story.
By the way, I feel it's mandatory. I feel it's mandatory for every My Hero panel that we're on together to say, I am so sorry.
I accept your apology.
I did not write that.
Wasn't your idea.
I just like that Cliff was like, no, we're not doing it on an iPhone. We've got a friggin' mic right here. Let's do it.
It was so nice.
If it makes the story any more interesting, I don't remember that at all. Like, I believe you that I did it.
Yeah.
I believe you that I was, because that's 100% the type of thing I would do.
Give me my
but
candy
like-
back then.
All right. Well,
It was like 10 o'clock in the morning on a Monday,
Yeah.
so like it makes sense.
yeah. But I don't remember that at all.
I think it does make the story more interesting. So yeah, I'm glad you said.
For me, it was
Story,
just
I mean, it
Monday.
checks out. It totally checks
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't, you know.
What's been the best thing to come out of being attached to this for each of you?
Well, when season 4 was just coming out, we got to do this big media tour across the country. I was there with you for a couple of them, like San Diego
Yeah, we
Comic
went
Con.
to STCC.
We went to NYCC. We got the exclusive Transformers that were there at the time.
No, that was SDCC.
Was that SDCC?
Yeah.
I feel like there was
I
one
wasn't
at
at NYCC. I was
You
at
weren't?
SDCC.
Ah,
I don't
then
remember
then
Emily's
right.
audition, but I remember
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Guys,
That
we
must
don't-
be.
Hey, so we don't remember anything. That's the story. Yeah.
If the paper's not in front of us, we like just go blank. We need teleprompters. We're like Anchorman. But we got to. Oh, yeah, that's right. I called you because I was at NYCC. I was like, do you want anything? And you're like,
Yeah,
get me some pins.
That's right.
We got to be on the stage of Madison Square Garden for one of these
Wow.
panels. And I cosplayed in like full overhaul garb. It was such a
Wow.
dream. My dad and sister got to be there. So
That's cool.
yeah, just these, getting to meet the people that like what we do, it just makes it so worth it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, My Hero has opened up the world, I feel like, to all of us. Because, I've traveled everywhere because of My Hero, it feels like at this point. I've been overseas and all over this country, and I've met so many incredible people and just heard so many amazing stories from the fans. And it's crazy to think about now that, we're in season 7, but we've worked on the show for 8 years because it started out in 2016. And there are people who have been watching this show since they were 10 years old. They're 18 now,
Oh,
There
wow.
are people that were young teenagers who now have kids and they're still watching the show. And so it's just wild to think about how this show is sort of defining a very specific point in people's lives and the span that it has of significance within people's lives and everything. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to articulate this, I think, until after My Hero happened. But, I wanted to be an actor for as long as I can remember, and it's evolved over the years as to why and what I loved about it, but it's always been a constant thing, a need for me to be a part of a story or connect to people, connect to my fellow collaborators, but also I think the gift of My Hero for me has been to really be a part of something that has had such an impact on people. At the end of the day, that's the true gift of it. And I get reminded of it every time I go to a convention and I get to chat with people. I was just before I came to this panel, there was a guy that I had met 2 weeks ago in LA doing a store signing. And we talked, and he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna see you in San Jose. I'm gonna bring my daughter. She couldn't come this weekend, but I she'll be in San Jose." And so he just came up to my table, and she got her pop signed, and just to be a part of something that has an impact like that, is really the real dream, And that's what this show has been. And I've been lucky enough to be a part of several shows that have that kind of broad reach, and it's really just, I don't know, it's the greatest thing you could get. So that's the way it's impacted me, and getting to travel all over and talk to people. And, last thing, during the pandemic, GalaxyCon did these great meet and greets, virtual meet and greets. They were awesome. And people would, do a 10-minute or 15-minute meet and greet. And this kind of sums up the impact, so I was doing one of those, and it was this young lady, and we were talking about the show and what she liked. And it was about 2 minutes left in the meet and greet, and the whole family storms into the room, and it was the dad and the mom and 2 other the kids, and they were like, "We love the show too," and it became like this family party, and it was like, dude, this is really what it's about, So anyway.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. I actually told that story at another panel, and that family was in the audience. They were like, "That's us! That's us!"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That
We're
is
tied
amazing.
forever.
Yeah.
The red
I know.
string.
I know.
Wow.
We have a fan from our virtual events, and she's sitting right there, and she did a couple
nice.
of touches.
Yay. Dude, those were so cool, man.
They were.
So,
They
yeah,
were so
hi.
cool.
Hello. Hi.
Yay.
What about us?
No,
We're kidding.
I really have nothing to add. You guys have said it all. It's the connection with the fans, and just I think the opportunity to travel, and it's opened up opportunities to connect more than before it happened. And I also think it's had a huge impact on the industry in general and on anime in general. Yes. I think that it happened at such a singular time where it had hit before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic happened and everybody was stuck inside and needed something to watch, it was there for a lot of people, and so a lot of people binged it. And so then when things started opening back up again, there was this just rush of appreciation and connection. I just think it's had huge impact on us, on the fans, and just on anime in general and the world. So
Yeah,
it's really
And
cool.
one thing that I've always loved about this show and its effect on fandom was that anime fandom and comic book fandom were parallel lines, and they really didn't cross over too much. But this show has made anime fans into Western comic book fans, and Western comic book fans into anime fans.
And
Agreed.
Horikoshi was so influenced by Western comics, and like,
Yeah.
I just love it's a seamless sort of integration of both those things.
And that's rare. A lot of manga, the great manga stuff this way too. They consider Western superhero comics kind of unfathomable.
They stick to their thing.
They really are just like, I don't get it, but he did. He really embraced it. Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Very true. Well, friends, thank you for indulging my capricious curiosity. I'm going to jump on now, but let's go ahead and get the regular question out of the way. If you could pick your own quirk, what would you pick?
Here we go.
I'm ready for this. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. I've had a lot of answers to this, but this is my final answer, and I stand by it. Cliff, you've heard this. David, you've heard it. So I would want to have the ability to gather all of the plastic waste, all of the plastic litter, lift it up into the air, whip it into a cyclone, and turn it into water that would then rain down. And Kristen Chapin, Cliff's wife, said that my name should be Recyclone.
Recyclone.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's over here if you want to ask
I'm
questions.
so excited about it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
that's a good one.
Recyclone.
That rocks.
love it.
The real answer is electricity manipulation, but the funny answer is something Trina came up with. She to be able to put a fart anywhere in like space and time
That was actually
you
Brittany
want.
Karbasky.
Oh, that was
Brittany
Brittany. You're right. You're
Karbasky.
absolutely
Yes,
right.
just
So
the
sorry.
ability to throw a fart.
fart. at somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, put a fart anywhere.
If you
yeah.
see someone being kind of a jerk over there, you just wing a fart at them. Boom.
Yeah.
And then
You
they're
see an anchor on TV, and suddenly they're like, but they're like trying to keep going
We're
with
gonna go to
it.
commercial now. Yeah.
eyes are watering. Yeah. What about you?
Oh man, so mine is an imagination quirk. I live in my head a lot, and it's not always a great place to live sometimes, but I just like the idea of being able to envision something, imagine something, a scenario, a feeling, an interaction, whatever, anything, and then be able to, make it reality or be living in it. So that's kind of what I've settled on. I've had so many answers over the years, but that's the one that I think I would enjoy the most, and I think it could be effective.
Yeah, that's like a god tier quirk.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone made fun of me for that. They're like,
What?
"Oh, you just want to be God." Then.
You're like
No.
that's an Omega level mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I know.
My genuine serious answer is teleportation, just because we travel all the time.
Yeah.
The ability to go home and like sleep in my own bed would be like amazing every weekend. But my fun answer is to make people give a crap. So like when you're talking about something and someone's like, "Man, I couldn't give a crap about that," and be like, "Now you do." Like
Yeah, that's
Enthu-
beautiful.
Enthusiasm manipulation.
yeah, like
that rocks.
like
Enthusiasmo.
yeah, right.
Enthusiasmo.
We'd be such a good team, Emily, because it'd be like, well, I don't care about recycling. Now you do.
Now you do.
Like, like
we would be a team.
Enthusiasmo, Imagiman,
Yeah.
Recyclone,
Recyclone.
Farfart.
far
Far
fart.
fart.
Far fart is wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, it's
so good.
beautiful.
I'm a big fan of Josh Greeley's answer, the ability to insert a USB drive correctly the first time.
Yes,
all the
yes.
time.
I like
That
that's so
rocks.
mundane.
I would love that power.
love
That would be a
that.
thing of the past because we got USB-C now.
Oh,
and that's going to be,
right.
oh man, that would be obsolete. But
Every time I'm in a hotel room, I'm like, why don't they have USB-C? We need to update the plugs,
it's
man.
coming.
I know.
They're slowly rolling out. You
I
see it
know.
in more and more.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was your name?
Hi guys, my name's Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
I met Clifford and David back in the virtual talks. That missed you guys a lot, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And
You're not the kid that did their Bakugo impression and then swore very loudly, right?
No,
Okay.
but it's
I
good
don't
to
think she'd admit that if
It's
she
good
did.
to see you guys and
good to
just
see you.
meeting
too,
you
you
guys in
too.
person for the first time.
Yeah, thank you.
So my question is, how can you progress faster as a voice actor or actress. I want to be one as well.
How can you progress faster? Yeah, there's no real path or answer for that. It is a game of patience. I mean, Kellen just said in his introduction that he sent his materials to Colleen, and it was a year later that she reached out. Right?
And that's quick.
And that's quick. And so,
really
like,
quick.
what he had to do, and I'm making this up. I mean, I don't know this, but you do your thing and you send your stuff off, and then you have to just be like, do your work every day. So whether that's working on your acting or working on auditioning, or you have to. There's so much in the acting world that's out of your control that if you can figure out the couple of things that you can do on a daily basis to increase your craft or take improv or whatever it is that feels good to you, that's really the only thing that you can really do. And then you start getting into the business of it, and you have to make demos and put those out. Like, Kellen obviously had materials to send to a director, and he was ready for that opportunity. So I always tell people the best thing you can do while you're practicing that patience is to make sure that you're ready when that happens, that you're ready to go. Because what you don't want to do is have an opportunity and not be ready to try and do your best with it. So there's no real answer. I wish there was like, hey, if you do X, Y, and Z, then it would, But all of us have been doing it for a while, and it is a game of like 100% investment. We love it and you care about it, and then you've just got to like do it and let it be out in the world and take its journey.
It's like building muscle. There's no shortcut for that.
Yep. Yeah.
While you're young and you're in school and everything, I mean, be taking drama classes, theater classes, anything you got, especially while you're in school, because those things are free. Yeah. They're just a part of your basic curriculum. But once you're out of school, you got to pay. You got to pay money for those workshops. I mean, I still do workshops. And I've got hundreds of credits. But just do everything you can to keep honing the craft and become stronger, and when the opportunity comes, you can seize it.
Yeah. Never stop learning.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, just keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Remember, Hannah, think of it as a marathon, not a speed race.
Yes.
So that's what I said. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
And absolutely, and enjoy the journey while you're at it. And maybe someday I'll have you up on stage.
Indeed.
I'll keep at it as I go.
Yes.
Please do. Hey, thank you, Hannah.
Thank
Great
you,
wishes.
yeah.
Good luck, Hannah.
Hey, what's your
Yay.
name? Oh, okay. Rock? Okay, hi, Rock. Oh, may I read this? Okay, all right. This is Rock, everyone.
Hey, Rob.
Hello.
Would the battle with Overhaul have gone better or worse if Kasuke and Shoto were there?
I mean, it would have been it would have been over very fast.
All right, so
No, it would have been over. It would have been over.
What is your science here?
My science is that Bakugo never took another L after the first season. So
All right. I can't dispute that right
That's strong science.
Rock does have a follow-up. They do think that it would have, I think so with the Shoto, but how impulsive Kasuri is, so.
How impulsive what? Oh, right. Yeah, maybe Shoto tempers the impulsivity and we work well as a team, or maybe he just goes with it and is like, yeah, that's right, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Overhaul is he's a boxer, but he's not like a trained fighter like you. Like you guys are going to school to
good
train
point.
in superhero fight. You could all just like jump me like at once if you two were there as well. That's like
Yeah, I mean,
like
in real
7
life, too. I mean,
superheroes
we'll
that
show
were
right
on
now.
the spot there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I like,
It's a
I
great
like
question.
that idea.
Rock, thank you. Hey, what's your name?
The name's Duke.
What's up?
So first of all, you guys have inspired everyone. Like so many people, kids are growing up with your characters and like getting inspired by them. Kellen, I'm familiar with your work in 5YL.
Let's go.
You're
Wearing the shirt for you, buddy.
Hey. My question is, what have been like some of your like for all of you guys, what have been some of your childhood or like teenhood or adulthood heroes that you've looked up to and that did the same for you, the same thing that you guys are doing for them? For like,
Oh, good one.
Wow, that's great. I'm gonna have to think about that. You guys go first.
My dad, he was always so supportive of me. My mom and dad, just like I said I wanted to be a voice actor. They said, "Go for it. We're with you all the way." And he's a lawyer. He lawyered me into my first voiceover workshop at 16, and
Nice.
that was like a developmental like fork in the road to the right path. And yeah, no, he's always just been like a paragon of professionalism and kindness, and I have always just tried to emulate. Leader of the band has a good quote. But I can't remember it right now. It's one of his favorite songs, though. But living legacy to the leader of the band. That's it. So that's what I try to be with him.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I most of my I don't have like celebrity, you know, people that have impacted me or role models. I mean, there are some, you know, but you know, I grew up going to theater and sitting in a room with people and watching a story happen, and my parents were supportive of that. I found acting. I went to my mom was teaching summer school one summer, and she was like, we don't have money to pay for childcare, so you and your sister are taking summer school, so we're all gonna go to summer school. And she was like, you can choose whatever you want. And it was like, so I chose 3 things that I love to do today, which is I took an acting class, basketball, which this happened doing that, and then cooking, actually. My 4th grade self was like, you know exactly what you want. So anyway, I grew up, there's a local actor in Houston, Texas that I grew up with and watching, and his craft was a big inspiration for me. I remember being in college, and I've since worked with him. He's directed me in a world premiere play. It was an amazing kind of full circle thing. But I was sitting in an audience watching a play called A View from the Bridge, Arthur Miller play, and I was watching his performance. And I went by myself, bought a cash ticket the day of the thing or whatever, and I just remember I was in the middle of my acting training and trying to figure out what that was for me. And I just remember seeing his work and going, I almost kind of came to when the lights came up, and I was like, I don't know exactly what that guy's doing up there, but that's what I want to do. And it was so transformative and impactful. And so I always come back to that. It's been a kind of a North Star in a way. So not a celebrity, but yeah, definitely an impact on me.
That's amazing. And that guy, his name is James Black. He was a mentor of mine too when I first started acting professionally. I was a company member at a theater in Houston, the theater that David was talking about called the Alley Theater, and he brought me in. He gave me my first shot at acting professionally. So that's cool. He's amazing. He's an amazing man. Just like enormous heart and like incredibly talented. Yeah. But so when I was growing up, my family was obsessed with Saturday Night Live. Like when I was watching things that I was way too young to be watching, like my whole childhood. Saturday Night Live was one of those things, and like we watched it every week, and like we would quote it all the time, and so that kind of gave me like the performing bug a little bit. But when I was 7, I saw a film called Empire of the Sun. And it's a little-known Steven Spielberg film from 1989, starring Christian Bale at 12 years old. And I was also too young to watch that, but I did. And first of all, I fell in love with Christian Bale. I was like, oh, Jamie, I love you. But I was like, he's a kid, and he's in a movie, and he's like acting, and he's really good. I mean, in that film. That film is amazing. You should watch it. John Malkovich, Christian Bale, awesome. But
It's a great film. Yeah.
It's so good, and the soundtrack, the music in it is incredible. Anyway, I just saw a kid doing that, and I was like, I want to do that. I could do that someday. So that kind of like turned me on to the like dramatic side of things, and like gave me the idea that like, yeah, I could do that
Right.
as a job. So.
Man, I don't even know. My life was always sort of building towards this thing, and from a very young age, I started recognizing voices, so I kind of clued into that this must be a thing that someone is doing. Like I'd hear one character on one show and then hear that same voice on another show, and I'd be like, that's that character, So I mean, it's hard to even say where that would have begun. It probably maybe like Keith David, because he was Goliath on Gargoyles back in the day, and and stuff like that's one of the earliest voices I feel like I can retain. That I was like, that's that voice. But I mean, there were just so many amazing performances and things growing up that it's hard for me to pinpoint where it all sort of began.
Right.
So.
Great question. Thank you.
Excellent question.
All right. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
I just want to say thank you so much for coming. You guys are amazing and awesome.
Thank you.
What is your favorite moment, or like playing the characters?
Yeah.
Second movie.
I think for a long time for me it was the sports festival. It was such a for Shoto specifically, it was such a formative moment. But it's hard now because it moved to season 6, and now it's a particular episode in season 7 that I won't talk about because you might not have seen it yet. But it was like this moment that me and a fellow actor have been building to for so long, and it was amazing. So that's season 7.
I have 2. The first is the Infinite Deku Eri moment in the Overhaul arc when her quirk activates and Deku goes to 100%. Like, I lost my mind when that happened. And then also the Christmas party episode. Like, it's just so cute.
For me, it was Overhaul's introduction when he was just like looking at the fire. He's like, "This world is sick," because not only was that like just one of the best like character introductions I think I've done to this day, just writing wise, but it was my first big anime role. So there are certain like nostalgic good feelings that you can like put on every memory, and that's just a very unique one for me. Like, I remember every bit of that session and just how excited I was and how supportive Colleen was. It was
That's awesome.
That's amazing. Great question.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Haley.
Hey.
Hi, Haley.
Besides your own character that you voice, who's your favorite character in My Hero Academia?
That's tough.
Kaminari. I like the golden retriever.
Dude, he's awesome. Stain is my favorite character. It always gets that reaction. Yeah, it's like, we don't know, but
Midnight for no reason.
Ida. I love Ida.
Dude, Ida's awesome. Oh, there's a moment Ida. There's a moment in season 7 between Ida and Todoroki, and I recorded before, so I didn't hear Ida when I recorded, and I watched it and immediately texted J. Michael Tatum and was like, dude, you said like 3 lines and I'm crying. It's amazing.
Who is also here this weekend, wherever he may be. Yeah.
He's right next to me.
Not right now.
Not right now.
At my
thought and
table.
mind,
His
yeah.
table.
It's a spirit looming over you, astral projecting.
Great
Yeah,
question.
thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
question.
Awesome. And wow.
Oh
let's-
my gosh.
Come
Dude,
a
those
little bit.
wings-
to the floor.
Wow.
Check this out here.
That is impressive.
Oh
Look at this.
my gosh.
Wow.
That is
Could I take a picture for Zeno?
Yeah, those are.
Zeno would love to see
Yes,
this.
Yes.
he would.
Well, then let's do it. Let's get
Cheers.
on stage.
All right.
Let's go on stage.
Yeah.
Cool. That rocks. If you can fit through the
I
door.
know, you're right.
There we go. That is so
Woo!
dope.
Look at this.
Do
All
it.
right. All right. So what's your name?
I'm Charlie.
Okay, Charlie. Well, we're just about at time, so you're gonna be our last question. So what do you want to know?
So my question is, out of all the quirks in the show, besides your own, what is your favorite and why?
Ooh, favorite quirk.
Well, I think my favorite quirk is Fat Gum's quirk. I really would like to be able to just go binge eat, all over the world, and then just be like, and just burn it all. It would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know if it's effective in really helping people. He uses it. Yeah, he uses it. He uses it well. So, it's like the ability to do that and then use it for positive, that's like the best of everything. It's hard, right? There's so many quirks, and they're the quirks are so unique. That's one of the things I love about the show too.
The one that's coming to mind for me is Recovery Girl because you can just cure anything with a kiss. That is so sweet.
Dude,
Is sweet.
I always forget about that. That is that is a great choice.
That's just lovely all the way around.
Exactly.
It is, but it can also be a little awkward.
Well, yeah.
Well,
I suppose
it's
a contextual thing.
Yeah,
I
just
guess.
have a little note card that asks for consent. And
Yeah,
you're
and
good.
then
a little waiver that you have to sign.
I'm sure there is.
Guy's bleeding out on the ground. Do you consent? Like, man.
Not once.
What's your favorite quirk?
Well, clearly Hawks. And I also want to say thank you for being here. It's my first con. It's such a pleasure.
way.
And it's such a pleasure meeting you guys.
Oh,
I started the
likewise.
show, and it immediately hooked on to me. So just thank you.
You went all out.
I can't believe,
Wow.
I can't believe your
You're killing it.
cosplay is this good. At
I
your first con.
know.
First
Like,
con, you're having a
incredible.
great time. This
Yeah,
is
you
awesome.
are.
Yeah.
What a first impression.
This is
I
how we do it.
know.
All right, let's get another round of applause for our first timer and our cosplayer. Oh.
Very cool.
So guys, before we wrap up, what's on everybody's dockets? Any future projects you're allowed to share with our audience?
Let's watch the order here. I want to see this.
Yeah.
Which
There's
one
an
goes
order,
first?
okay? So the first one you have to do is this one.
Okay.
This keeps the ankle
It's all right. Ankle sport.
in its right place.
Uh-huh.
So one, then it's all not what you think. This is two.
This isn't what I think.
Yeah. And
Yep.
then this is three.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And then the last one's four.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying attention.
It's a fancy boot, man. Fancy boot. I played characters that wear boots like this. Yeah. Here we are. Now I can stand up. I'm not allowed to walk on this till I get out of this next week, in case anyone was wondering.
Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of projects, I think there's a new season. They haven't announced when, but sometime next year, there's a show called Kakurio Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. It's so sweet, and it's like about food and this demon world. But it's really, really great. It's Chris Waycamp and I are the leads in it, and I just love that show so much. It's coming back sometime next year. Don't know when, but hopefully soon.
Wow, that felt really loud. I don't know if anyone knows the series Trigun. It's a classic. Yeah. So I did Stampede. It was I fell in love with that show. I love it. I love the soundtrack. I love everything about it. I'm pre-ordered the new release of the manga. Like, I went down the rabbit hole, and so they just announced a season 2, Trigun Stargaze. So I'm really excited. Hopefully they'll have me back, but I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to see it. So yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out like so soon, but just missed it for this. So, but there's this show called Our Last Crusade that's coming out right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I was gonna talk about that because the first 4 episodes came out, and then it's on hiatus in Japan. I think until January. Yeah. So I love that show.
Yeah, you're the lead in it.
I am
yeah?
the lead in that. It's such a great show. It's so fun. She's a princess, and she's like really demure, and then like also
Okay, what does demure actually mean?
and mindful. Well, so There's like a whole TikTok
Okay.
right now, but Demure is like just very classy, reserved, graceful, elegant. But then she's also just like it's slapstick comedy, so she'll go from being very like imperious and be like, I fell down. Like it's fun.
It's great.
so.
I also play a demure character on that. Did I say that
Yes.
right?
Masked Lord.
On Noah Zebulus, the mask, the Lord Mask.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah,
a cool character.
He is very subtly crazy, and I love the subtle characters.
Yeah,
There's a lot more to
yes.
play with there.
Yeah, right. The nuance.
Oh man, it's tough to know what you're allowed to talk about.
I know. I just don't say anything anymore.
You
I
can just say
was
stay
literally
tuned,
just
right?
on Google seeing like, is it out yet?
Recently, I was announced as the voice of Billy Kid on Zenless Zone Zero. If anybody's playing that,
That's cool.
I guess a few people are playing that. That's cool. But that's a cool, super cool character and super fun and something I've been enjoying recently. And I've almost got the platinum trophy on PlayStation 5, so I'm getting there. But yeah, so
You sound great, man.
thank you very much.
Friends, as always, thank you for your talents, thank you for your professionalism, and thank you for joining us here today.